How's it going, guys? My name is Black Wolf, and today I will be giving you my rapid fire review for Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This game it's heavily slept on. It is a banger. So, if you like what you're seeing, you're probably gonna love this game. This game was brought to you by Team Ninja, the guys that made the Ninja Gaiden games. Yeah, this is their attempt at a Souls-like. And for the From Software fanatics out there who's gonna come at me and being like, this is not a Souls-like. Can we put down the dweeb level of like ignorance and just agree to disagree then? Because this is most definitely a Souls-like. You can rest and reset enemies on the map and all that, and it gives you a little Souls-like. It plays like Sekiro, my guy. Like, I'm not debating you dweebs. And if that offended you, go ahead and just click off. I don't care. I know From Software fans are very cult-like. They worship Daddy Miyazaki, and anything other than From Software is just garbage to them. Yeah, I don't care. Those people can kick rocks. But if you're still here, this game holds a very special place in my heart because, in my opinion, I think it perfects Souls-like. It perfects what it means to be a Souls-like. It perfects the combat is fun. The fights are fair. They're brutal and hard. Don't get it wrong. They're brutal and they are punishingly hard. But they're fair. They don't do that dumb stuff that From Software does where they hide an enemy off camera, come around the corner, get one-shotted, and I gotta run the gauntlet all over again. Nope. The difficulty of the game comes straight up through combat. It's like Sekiro, right? You are as good as the game demands. That's it. The game teaches you within the first level how to play, and then it stops holding your hand. You're on your own. And it's beautiful, and I love it, and I'm here for it. So this is going to be a spoiler-free review for the most part, because it's rapid fire. I want you guys to enjoy the game. I have beaten the game, so there's not going to be any cutscenes or anything. I've beaten the game multiple times. I think I'm on New Game Plus 8, 9. I don't know. I've completed 1,000-mile journey, which is endgame content. But the game's very generous. You can respec. I'm in the village. I'm in the hub right now. The hub world is like your central world where you can interact with NPCs, do missions in the world forum, and progress their quest. Right. But within this hub, you can level up. You can battle preparations, you can prepare for battle, build classes and all that. Go to blacksmith, tune, upgrade, craft. It's so much to do. But you also have these things called like your battle beast, or your like kaijus. They're not kaijus, but they're based off the 5 Chinese virtues. Like they're beasts you can summon in battle that can tilt the tide of battle. They give you like an elemental buff to you and your squad, or you can actually choose to summon the beast itself onto the battlefield. But they're used as like ultimate, like last minute oh shit button type of thing, and they take a while to build up. So you really gotta know when and to commit to summoning them, or when to use the elemental buff that they give you, right? And then here you have your classes where you can create and save your loadouts. Right, so based off your loadouts, as you can see, I have various different loadouts for each situation. These builds are based off of the 5 Chinese virtues, like I said, and based on how you level up your points into these virtues, they will give you different passives. Some of them increases your martial arts, some of them increases your deflecting, some of them increases your defense and your ability to wield heavier stuff. Some of them makes you like a spellcaster, if you want to call it that. Don't think too much into it, because the spells in this game are situational at best. But when you learn to utilize them in that situation, it becomes easier to create those situations, therefore abuse the spells, right? So the spells are based off the 5 Chinese virtues. You have wood, which will give you, I believe, lightning. I know it doesn't make sense, but it's a thing. It gives you lightning attack, it gives you vitality, right? And it gives you I believe it makes your spirit defense go up. And you have fire, which gives you fire attacks and increases your martial arts. And I believe it also increases your secondary weapon damage, or whatever. And then you have the earth virtues, is the next one. So the earth virtue, it's in the name, it's earth. You earthbend. This is an avatar, but it's what you do. You earthbend. You have very high defense with the earth virtue. Your tank class, think of it as your tank class. If this was like a medieval game, it would be like your knight build for the B&D guys in the back. Anyway, so yeah, that's just it, earth. And then after your earth, I believe you have your metal, and your metal is where you'll get your poison from. So in the metal, you'll get like your poison stats, you'll get like metal moves, so you actually have metal attacks, believe it or not. But you also get poison from this class. And like I said earlier, each virtue has a passive that it comes with. For example, water helps you deflect things. The idea is to be like fluid like water. Fire helps with your martial arts and helps you be more aggressive, right? Earth helps you be more tanky. And metal, well, you'd think metal would just make you malleable, but it doesn't. What it does is, well, I just had an epiphany in real time. It does make you malleable in the sense of you can spam spells, right? You can mold yourself into a spellcaster then, if that's making sense. I don't know. But metal passive lets you like spam spells. It decreases the amount of spirit needed to perform these spells. Like I said, a lot of the spells are very situational at best, but as you learn to create those situations, you can abuse the mechanics of the spells. You also have like NPCs in the game that you can recruit that will follow you, as you progress through the game. You'll unlock allies and level up their fit. Yes, I do mean the clothing, their fit, like what they're wearing. Once you level them up, they will give you their fit, and their fit comes with set bonuses, and the whole it's a very intricate, deep loot system in this game that I don't really see in others games. I think like something like Elden Ring kind of dropped the ball when it comes to the loot, but this game does not. This game's very Diablo loot-esque centric. You're going to be getting a ton of loot. Most of them, it's going to be like garbage. You're going to be scavenging it for parts, and then you can use those parts to refine your gear. You can use those parts to craft. You can use those parts to embed. Embedment is pretty awesome. And this is the blacksmith right here. So the blacksmith is, oh my god, I love it. I've spent more time crafting builds than I have actually playing the game. Right? That's how in-depth the build is in this game. It's not like Neo or anything. Right? It's not like the Team Ninja other franchise called Neo. Neo is like, I heard Neo took the loot a little bit too far, but I haven't played Neo yet. I haven't played Neo yet. I want to. The third one just came out, but this is not about Neo. This is about Wolong. So as you navigate the hub and whatnot, you'll unlock other characters within the region, and you can interact with them. They'll give you side quests, like I said earlier. But it's a pretty neat area. Everything interconnects. One thing I do love about this game is its legacy dungeons. The levels are separated by legacy dungeons. It's not like Elden Ring. It's not open world, right? So the levels are separated by legacy dungeons, and it's so great. I love it because, in my opinion, it gives the creators time to sit and focus on the actual level. Things like level design. There's normally a crazy dude up here. That's why I came here, but I beat the game, so he's not here. Don't want to spoil anything for you later on. But this game is not like story driven. I will say that I'm not going to spoil anything within the story, but I will tell you this game is heavily not like. But the combat is what makes this game shine. Let's Let's just be honest. It's not the story. If you're used to games like freaking Dynasty Warriors, look at the story kind of like that, right? Like the Dynasty Warrior fans don't come to Dynasty Warrior for good storytelling. They come for like combat and the ability to kill hordes of enemies, right? And this game is pretty much kind of like that in that sense of you're not really supposed to critique the story too much, you know? I'm not saying it's like a terrible story or anything. I actually personally like the story. It's just the voice acting in the English dub is terrible. So when I first played the game, I played it in English and it was corny as hell. Then the second time I played it in the Mandarin in Chinese dub, and it was way better. So the voice acting kind of dampens the story, but it's not a bad story at all, right? Getting back to the combat, because that's what makes this game shine. The combat of this game is your deflection. It is your bread and butter. You will live and die by your deflection in this game, right? It's not, in my opinion, the deflection is not as forgiven like Sekiro. I think Sekiro deflection system is a bit too forgiving for its difficulty, but this game it's not. No, this game is like you need the timing down. You need the timing, right? You can deflect in Sekiro and be a little bit off, and the iframe will adjust and kind of like clutch you. But in this game, no, like you need to hit that deflect button as soon as it's connecting with you. So it's a very deflect centric game. You have enemies charging at you, they will glow red, and that's your indicator like, yeah, this is an unblockable attack. I need to deflect it, right? Or you can dodge. You know, Souls players out there who got no skills, you can just dodge. I need to stop picking up from software, guys. I'm sorry. Getting back on track. You will live and die by this. You definitely will, right? And then you have like, just like Sekiro, once your enemies get exhausted, you gotta close the gap and execute them, right? You hit the execute button and you perform like a lethal attack on them once you drain their spirit meter. So you have a spirit meter. Your spirit meter and enemy have a spirit meter. It's a tug of war. It's whoever is going to deplete the other spirit meter will have the advantage in battle. And enemies are super hyper aggressive in this game, right? They're super hyper aggressive in this game. They will force you to bring out your best, and that's what I love. But they do it in a way that feels natural. It doesn't feel like I have to do a college level research essay just to beat one boss. No, it doesn't feel like that, right? Like I don't have to like cheese anything in this game. There's no build to cheese. Number one, everything is earned, so it's great. It's a game that rewards aggression. It's a game that rewards great gameplay. Once you master the gameplay of the game, it rewards you for it. And then on top of that, the levels get progressively harder and harder and harder, right? Like I said, I'm on New Game Plus Plus. I've beaten every single difficulty in this game. You start off with Crouching Dragon, then I believe you go to Ryzen or Soren, and then it keeps going up and up. Heavenly, and then Dragon King is like the max, right? So right now I'm on Dragon King, right? That's where I'm at. But I'm gonna take you straight into battle so you can get to see what these dungeons are like. These legacy dungeons, in my opinion, there's only like 3 maps I don't like in the game, but all in all, the game is beautiful. Soundtrack, beautiful. Voice acting, English dub not so much, but everything else, freaking beautiful. Let's dive right in. No question to ask. Combat's very fluid. You know, the map's set up in a way where it's easy to navigate. There is a in-game map you can turn to if you're lost. I don't know how you're going to be lost in this game. It's a linear dungeon. You just have to go forward, and that's it. But there are certain, like I said earlier, there are like 3 maps in the game that I didn't really like. Design-wise, it was really confusing. But for the most part, the maps are very simple. I think a 2nd grader can navigate these maps. But as you go around the map, you kill enemies, you find loot. It's very loot heavy centric, and Enemies are set up in the map where they're designed to challenge you combat-wise. They're not off-screen. You're not gonna come around the corner and get like one-shotted by something. Just no, it's not that type of difficulty, if you want to call that difficulty. This game is difficult through its combat. You have to master the combat to progress your levels, and it does it in a way, like I said earlier, that feels completely natural, right? It's like the designs are set up to make you better, right? They don't force you to become better through exterior means, through, going on YouTube and watching a body video. But these games are challenging through its combat, and it holds your hand to a degree in the sense of it feels natural. The boss fights are fair, they're brutal, they're harsh. Especially the first boss, which you're looking at now. This guy took me like a week to beat in my first playthrough, but that's by design. The game is letting you know, if you can't beat this dude, you can't move forward. And it's just that simple. Now, another thing I forgot to mention, there is co-op in this game, right? My homie was the one to put me on this game. I was not a fan of the Souls-like for a while. This is why this game holds a special place in my heart, because this game was the game that got me to fall in love with the Souls-like genre, right? I did play Bloodborne. That was my favorite From Software game forever, until Sekiro came out, and then that became my favorite From Software game. But I ended up getting into From Software because of Wolong, because of Team Ninja. I played Dark Souls in the past in my youth, and I was not really a fan of the combat in that game. So that kind of turned me off. I'm not a fan of that whole roll, and then you feel limited, and then the bosses are just cracked up their ass. No, this game's not like that. This game rewards you, it gives you the tools, it comes down to you, the player, and this game is very brutal. As you're about to see, I get my ass handed to me several times in this game, but never did I feel like it was unfair. Never. Each encounter that I encountered the bosses was a challenge and a giant skill check, but in the right way, right? Not in the, oh, just get good way. Not that, that's just an argument that From Software fans use to dismiss any criticism from their game. No, and like, these games are set up to where the bosses will challenge you in a way that feels natural, feels fair, right? Each time I've died, each encounter, I could review my footage and see where I went wrong. Never did I feel like the fight was out of my control, if that makes sense. Everything is within my control, and it comes down to me, the player, who get better on how I execute my talent. Does that make sense? Altogether, guys, this was my rapid fire review for Wolong Dynasty. This game holds a very special place in my heart. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's worth your time, worth your money, with your dedication. It's not a perfect game. Far from it. Storytelling point of view, From Software's been killing it. They're the king of that. But from a gameplay point of view, I think this was a breath of fresh air, right? The martial arts in this game kind of reminds me of the Ash of War from Elden Ring, And the spells in this game, the developers could have, I don't think they really tested how well the spells were going to interact, but nonetheless, us the players figured it out for them, and that's the beauty of the game. So, highly recommend this game to anybody that's a fan of the Souls-like genre. Highly recommend this game if you like Sekiro. If you're a fan of that game, you'll fit right in, right? 7 out of 10. Love it. Black Wolf, out.